Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Canadian Gamers. Just Steven and I, and we've got a special podcast for you, or at least Steven does. He wants to rant and rave, and I simply want to sit here and laugh. So take it away.
All right, thanks, man. Well, it's just a little thing that I wanted to talk about. It's more of a rant than anything, so we'll see how it goes. But as you may have noticed, me and Jared are huge Super Mario Brothers fan, and with Super Mario Brothers, it's a hit or miss. Some people don't really enjoy the series anymore, but for me, it's just one of the best series out there. I'm a huge platformer fan, and I like those retro-style 90s games. And there's a game called New Super Mario Brothers 2 for the 3DS that I was really, really looking forward to. And I was liking pretty much everything that I heard about it. And Nintendo introduced it, and we learned that they brought back the P-Wing, or whatever it's called, and you could fly to new levels and stuff like that. It looked awesome. Then they really put the emphasis, or whatever I'm looking for a word here, on
That's right.
on coin collecting, which looked pretty cool because they are doing a big challenge right now. It's called first try to collect 1 million coins or something like that. And they were telling us that playing co-op would mean that you'd get double the coins, which really, really looked interesting because for me, Mario Brothers is not really a co-op game. But with this little big challenge rather, it would really give me another reason to go back and play the game, play the other levels, and play older levels and stuff like that, just to get more out of it. Plus, it would give us an excuse to play together, just mess around in Mario. And I know we're such big Mario goofs that we'd have a blast doing this. The problem is, however, is that Nintendo announced, they were questioned because somebody was feeling like something was odd here, and they confirmed that Super Mario Brothers 2 will only be local co-op only, which is pretty much useless for us unless you're 12-year-olds and you have friends that where most of your friends have a 3DS or something like that you can play with. Then it's cool because you still have the option. But for us living 12 hours apart, there's no freaking way that we'll be able to participate in a co-op Mario Brothers match. And that's just felt like Nintendo just gave me the finger when they said that. It was like a kill shot to the heart. It's like, I don't understand why in 2012 Nintendo cannot make a simple game like Mario co-op. And there was another thing that they mentioned was that when they were trying to come out with ways to make it co-op, they were letting players at first move whenever they want. A player could be at one part of the world while the other one could be at any part. Now they've restrained it to the same screen, which is not that bad, but it looks kind of foolish because if you look at the video, at some point the guy just went ahead and the other guy is stuck following him in a balloon, and it looks really boring. And the problem with that is that it could work with both. The game was running perfectly fine, but the reason why they said they didn't want to let that in is that because they found that players were not cooperating when the option of going whenever you want, going separately was in. And to that my reply is, so what? Nintendo always seem to want to tell us how to play certain games. If you come out with a game and a player wants to play it a certain way, man, let him be. He bought the game, let him be. Your main goal is to make money. So if the person buys the game, he should be allowed to play the game however he wants. If my reason to play Super Mario Brothers is to simply pop the game in, go to level 1-1, press A, and then just look at it for 30 minutes, and it's my decision. I can do whatever I want, and it doesn't matter. I paid the $30 for it. You got my money, so you should be happy. So I don't know why they always feel like using restrictions. Same with Pikmin 3. Shigeru Miyamoto has been talking about he's not sure which control schemes to use. He prefers the Wii Motion with the nunchucks. Yet another developer, I don't know who he was always using the gamepad from the Wii U, and I'm like, well, there's no problem. Just have the option to use both. It seems simple to me. I don't know why these guys are troubled or puzzled by such simple problems like that. And then he went to announce that Pikmin 3 won't be online because it's a complex game that could create lag and stuff like that. while games like StarCraft and Red Alert or Command and Conquer rather and stuff like that have been online for decades. It's like I don't know what planet these guys are living in. It's clear to me that they are not skilled with networking or stuff like that. It's clear, and that's all right. The problem is just hire somebody to do the online work for you. There are tons and tons and tons of studios out there that could do it easily. If Nintendo cannot, in 2012, figure out ways to make a game like Super Mario Bros. 2 online, then they have a problem. And either they fix it by hiring somebody else, or they do what they're doing now and give gamers the finger and telling them, well, we can't do it, so you'll have to endure. And if you want something else, well, too bad. Just go with the other companies. And that's basically what they're telling us.
Yeah, that's pretty well exactly right, man. Before I jump on that, there was one other story that basically broke. It's part of this whole questionnaire that IGN and Kotaku have been running, and it's basically saying, what's his name? Iwata said that pretty much if you want like an Xbox Live or a PlayStation Network, well, you're going to have to go and buy those platforms, because he said we're not interested in playing catch up because they spend billions of dollars on their networks and they've had years of practice, and they said we're just looking to do a recommendation system, sort of like what iTunes has, in the sense that like you'll see games and you'll be able to rate them and say like, you know, how they're going or whatever. I think Nintendo, their big thing is they don't want to admit that they really missed the ship, you know, like it's over. Like when it comes to online, these guys they weren't there from day one, and because of that, they have no experience with online, and it's okay. Like you just said, that's perfectly fine. It's just, you know, there are so many companies, and especially with a huge name like Nintendo. If Nintendo went to like Blizzard, or they went to Valve, or they went to any of those huge studios, those guys would jump on the opportunity to work with Nintendo, because, like, I guarantee you, 90% of the people who are in there had an NES when they were growing up, and they would just love it. It'd be like an honor to work with the Big N on a whole bunch of games and showing them how to do this and do that and whatever. But to come out in 2012 and say that a game like Pikmin is too advanced to basically run smoothly online, that shows that you're either totally oblivious to the fact that there are way more complex games out there that are online enabled, or you're just totally clueless. Like it just doesn't add up. And the thing with Mario not being online, it just doesn't make any sense today. Like, if a game supports multiplayer local, it's like a given. It should support online multiplayer. Now, I understand, like, for example, Drinkbox Studios, their new game, Guacamelee, it's not going to be online enabled. And why is that? Well, they're an indie developer, and they didn't know which platform they were going to be building in. And they're a group of, like, 5 or 7 guys. So to do the network coding associated with that, you know, it's a challenge. It's a big challenge to, basically a basement studio. But Nintendo is not a basement studio. This is like one of the largest game companies on the planet. And to come out and say that, you know, basically it's just too challenging to do, like you said, that's basically like the middle finger to all their fan base. And I'm telling you, it makes me really worried that the Wii U is just, again, it's not going to have an emphasis on online, irregardless of what we saw on at E3 with the Miiverse. And the more I hear about Miiverse now, the more I'm really wondering, like, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's very troubling, because for me, when I heard that, it was a bomb. Like, when I heard that this new Super Mario Brothers, if you remember, like the day before we talked about how we were looking forward to execute that challenge and how much replay value it would add, and then the day after, we heard that it wasn't going to be available for us, and right there was like, man, that's like so I don't know the word, but it's terrible for a company like Nintendo to just squash my dreams. Then I wanted to play that game with you, man.
Yeah, tell me about it. And
have to do a 12-hour trip.
Yeah, pretty well, and that sucks because, like, for me here, who the hell am I going to play with? I've got nobody that is going to be interested, so I'm totally screwed. I'm just going to play it by myself, and I'll enjoy the game. I'm sure it'll be excellent, but I don't know if I'll ever get that 1 million coins there because, like, that's just like unfathomable to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about for today, and I think that's going to be all. It should cover the subject pretty well. So be sure to leave us comments and thoughts or whatever, and we'll probably be back soon with another episode of Canadian Gamers, and I'll let you do the finishing touch.
All right, well, that's perfect, Stephen, actually. Just want to mention that I've been pushing a lot of Twitter stuff lately, so I'll make sure that I mention this on Twitter for anyone that's following us. We actually have quite a few people that follow us on Twitter, so hopefully you guys, stick around, leave a comment, like Stephen said. Anyways, thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll be back soon. Take care, everyone.
Alrighty.